Military science fiction is one of the most enduring subgenres of speculative fiction. It's full of space marines, space fleet, futuristic weapons, alien threats, epic battles, and complex explorations of war and its consequences. But what if I told you that some of the most famous military sci-fi books aren't really military sci-fi at all? In fact, what if I told you they're actually something completely different? Let's light it up. Let's go straight to the top shelf for our first book, Starship Troopers by Robert A. Heinlein. This book is often credited with defining military sci-fi, but is it really? While the story follows Johnny Rico through his training and deployment in an interstellar war, the book is less about military action and more about Heinlein's philosophy on responsibility, duty, and how to be the best version of yourself. Honestly, this is basically a self-help book, wrapped in a sci-fi skin. If David Goggins wrote sci-fi, it would look exactly like this. This novel will help you face adversity, embrace the grind, and harden your mind, forging you into the hero of your own life, with focus, grit, and of course, the power of service. Oh yes, that's right. Besides being a self-help book, this novel is also an extended recruitment brochure. The U.S. military wants you. Don't forget, service guarantees citizenship. Next, we have The Forever War by Joe Haldeman. At first glance, it seems like a classic military sci-fi epic, as it follows William Mandela, a soldier conscripted into an interstellar war against an alien species. But wait a second, this isn't just any war story. The real plot is about Mandela's struggle to reconnect with his girlfriend after being separated by the time dilation effects of relativistic travel. He comes home and finds that time has changed, and so has love. This isn't military sci-fi. It's actually one of the greatest long-distance relationship dramas of all time. The futuristic weapons are just window dressing for Haldeman's deeper dive into love, loneliness, and the passage of time. If Netflix ever adapts it, expect it to be labeled as a romantic comedy. David Drake's Hammer's Slammers is another book frequently labeled military sci-fi. But let's take a closer look. Yes, it follows a tank regiment in various planetary conflicts, but there's an important distinction here. These aren't soldiers, they're mercenaries, which means this isn't military sci-fi. It's actually Uber for tanks. That's right, this book is about the gig economy, long before apps like Lyft or DoorDash. If you think about it, Hammer's Slammers was way ahead of its time, predicting a future where freelance warriors take contracts on foreign worlds. No army, just a bunch of independent contractors with really heavy artillery. Now, let's talk about Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. It's a book about a child trained to become a military leader in a war against an alien species. So it must be military sci-fi, right? Wrong. This book is actually just young adult fiction about a gifted kid struggling in school, complete with bullies, mean teachers, and a big final exam. The whole war thing? It's basically the world's most intense game of laser tag. Harry Potter had Quidditch, Ender gets zero-G battle simulations. And let's not forget about the emotional manipulation by the adults in charge. It's basically the Hunger Games meets Star Trek. It's not about military strategy, it's about a gifted child realizing that war is a simulation, and he's the one being played. In fact, I'm pretty sure the ultimate lesson of Ender's Game is that you should never let your teachers put you in a room full of children with access to weapons, especially in zero gravity. I mean, what could go wrong, right? Finally, we have Old Man's War by John Scalzi. This novel follows elderly recruits who are given genetically enhanced bodies to fight in intergalactic wars. Sounds like military sci-fi, right? Well, not really. This book is actually about one thing: midlife crises. Think about it. Older people getting brand new, upgraded bodies and running off on an adventure? That's not military sci-fi. That's basically eat, pray, love for grandpas. But with space guns. The real heart of Old Man's War isn't the galactic conflicts or the futuristic weaponry. It's about rediscovering youth and purpose. It's a story of rejuvenation, not about strategic conquest. The military part is just a way to get everyone out of the nursing home and into some high-energy action. Forget about saving the galaxy. This is about saving your own soul from the doldrums of old age. So there you have it. 5 classic military sci-fi novels that aren't really military sci-fi if you go into detail. What do all these books have in common? They feature military settings, soldiers, and battles, but their core themes lie elsewhere. Starship Troopers is self-help. The Forever War is a rom-com. Hammer's Slammers is gig economy sci-fi. Ender's Game is just YA fiction with laser tag. And Old Man's War is a midlife crisis manual. These books may borrow elements from military sci-fi, but at their heart, they belong to other subgenres entirely. On the surface, it looks like military sci-fi, like someone else's skin on Hannibal Lecter's face. But deep down, it's something much more unsettling, like a motivational speech or a midlife crisis. Did I change your perspective on these classics? Or do you still think they belong in military science fiction? Let us know in the comments below. And if you made it this far, surprise! Happy April Fool's Day. I wonder if I got you. But hey, if you like this April Fool's video, don't forget to like and subscribe. We have more military sci-fi content coming up soon, like book reviews, deep dives, monthly news, and other fun things. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Burn bright and burn enough.